It's my boys.
I think instead of the intro card, you should just put this thumbnail that you have up on the screen. Just let that rock for the intro.
Here's my thing. I want to start with a clip today.
Okay.
I want to start with a clip. I'll admit right off the bat, I did see this on another podcast, but I couldn't resist.
Sure.
The clip was isolated and on the internet and available.
Yeah.
So don't hate.
It better be fucking good.
I think it is.
I want an adult hottie on my lap right now, under 26 right now, no frills, no excuse, big titties and intelligence. I don't care if she's a hood, rap, punk rock, or any kind of anything. As long as she's hot and here right now on my 37-year-old dick right now. Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. For 5 years of never having anything as everybody else gets laid. The gray-haired beards use the research on telomerase. Did I put it out 8 months ago and then you just go with that hoe? Why won't you go with me? I don't need that question answered. I need it right now, right now, right now, right now. Right now, right now, right now. After $3,000 of giving food away to the homeless, I think I deserve it. I think I'm entitled, bloke, and I think that I deserve it now. I'm not going to believe in your God or any nonsense. I'm not going to believe in Satan either. I just want it here right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. I want a hottie in my lap right now, right now, right now, right now. 18-year-old big tits doesn't matter the subculture.
All right. Do you have anything to say about this?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I can't even tell if it's over yet, if it's looped already.
Because
don't worry.
this
about
man needs a feature on the new Kendrick album. He's got bars.
Right now, right now,
I
right
need a
now,
hottie
right now,
right now, right now, right now.
I need a hottie right now, right now, right now. I can see it. I can see it. You can sync it up. Are we done? Let me see if we're done. Are we?
Right here, right now in Spokane, right now to go out with me on a date right now. I want an adult.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
Spokane. Spokane, Washington.
This is what happens when you legalize fucking heroin.
They did do that, didn't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
He's probably on like coke or some shit.
Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. I'm on cocaine. I'm doing a lot of cocaine in Spokane right now, right now, right now.
Cocaine in Spokane. That's a bar. Now that's a bar. Here's my thing. Why does he look like Eminem and the prison guard from the Shawshank Redemption had a baby?
Dude.
It
It looks like Chris Farley and Pete Holmes had a baby.
Also, I love the fact that he's definitely reading those lyrics off of like his phone.
You
like,
think
off
so?
of the
You
off
don't
the
think
notes
this is just
app.
full-blown schizophrenia? Let's
No,
take a look
like
without sound.
look. It's kind of towards. It's kind of towards the beginning, but like you can kind of see a moment where he.
I think you're mistaking it for his dead eyes.
No. Just wait for it. Not wait for the spasm.
It's so intense.
Like you see it. No, you see the glow in his eye. Like he's 100%.
He could also be looking at himself.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
he's-
thinking. Is that he's checking himself out while he's saying this. He sees that himself in the little window at the bottom.
Because, if we're going to go narcissist, right? Let's get real technical here. If we're going to go narcissist, he would be keeping an eye on like what he looks like rather than looking right into the lens. Which is actually kind of hard to do, if I'm being honest. Like to look into the little circle instead of to look at the moving picture.
Yeah.
It's tough. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're doing a video chat and you instead of looking at the lens, which
I'm
always
looking at
always
myself.
looking at myself on Zoom.
right, exactly.
But it's not because I want to look at myself. It's because I have to make sure I don't look stupid. Like
Sure.
I have to make sure, like all of a sudden, like a bug doesn't like land on my forehead, and like I'm just sitting there
Got a lot of
talking
bugs
to a
flying around.
What do you think?
my
do you think
swarm
he's
of
doing?
bees.
He's trying to make sure that he doesn't look stupid, so he can get a hottie right now.
now.
He needs it right now.
Also, I'm not seeing him do that scrolling thing that your eyes do, like when you're reading.
Oh, where it's kind of like like you're like shooting back and forth. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
If I had one piece of advice to give this guy,
Sure.
it would be to call JG Wetworth 877 hotties now.
Right now.
Right now.
What would
You're
that be?
hotties, and he needs it now.
That's why white people shouldn't rap.
Dude, he's too good. I'm glad we opened with that clip.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it was your decision, wasn't it?
Yeah. Of course I'm glad. I'm also glad to see you.
Yeah, nice to see. I mean, I did get to see you for a split moment.
Well, sure, but we wouldn't plan that.
2 days ago. Yeah, I mean that was just like a thing.
I
happened to be
we
there.
exchanged slight bits of data and then fist bumped and then parted ways. It was
Yeah.
two ships passing. in
Touched
the night.
penises.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. We docked for a few
Like
minutes.
you do.
Yeah.
Dog. Why do I know? I definitely know what that is, but I'm I'm having
Do
like
you
a
need me to
moment.
tell you?
It's
I need an Urban
It's that
Dictionary.
penis in the foreskin kind of love.
That's what I thought
Like
it was.
warm, like
I want that
Penis-
docking kind of love. That's penis in foreskin type of love. Shout out Rick and Morty.
That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't 100% sure.
So, you've been gone for. Well, I mean, I haven't
I've
seen
been
you.
back.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
you in over a month, but you've been gone for about a month, right?
Yeah, about a month ago I left for 2 weeks. So I've been back for 2 weeks, but you hate kids, so you won't come to my house. I mean, I've never ever criticized you for that. I 100% get it, but I also know that's why you don't come to my fucking house.
It's that, and like, look, man.
You don't want to
how do
drive
I-
that far, do
No,
you?
no, 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 no. Well, that is kind of far. Depending on the time of day, it's actually really easy to get there, or it's really hard to get there. But
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to come to my house at 5 in the afternoon.
I'm trying to see how to approach this, and
This
I
might be
hope
good.
Nolan knows where I'm going with this. There was an odor for a while
Yeah, that's called having cats.
and I'm wondering if that's not as much of an issue anymore.
Well, no, it's not, because the cat that predominantly produced that scent
Is
deceased.
Deceased.
He's
Got
deceased.
it. We've reached the barrier. Thank you.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
mean, and don't I mean
Trevor was like, I can't say the.
I don't want to
T-word.
say like, hey, since your cat fucking is
it's my
dead
cat,
now-
not my mother. Like,
It's like, yeah,
Well,
I'll
you
come
used to-
over now. Now that your fucking cat's dead.
No,
now
Are we gonna-
I'll come
Are
over.
we gonna pretend that you are not an emotional person? There,
oh no.
if I
I'm very
recall,
emotional.
during an editing session, watching an episode with Nolan, Abby, and I, where we were discussing your emotional attachment to a cartoon character, and I would think that you might actually flip out about a cat,
My emotional. Which cartoon character?
Frankie.
Oh, well, that was lust. That was pure, unadulterated,
Oh, it
prepubescent
was
lust.
lust.
Well, I mean, I also like wish.
Well, that's different.
I wish she would like become real, but like
What-
I was a
let me-
literal
let's-
child.
I
was
wanted
like
to
a
ask you
literal
about that.
child.
They're new. She's like noodly. There's nothing like. What are you?
It's called personality, Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
It's called personality.
How old were you?
I don't know. When did that show first come out? Like I was like 9.
Ages ago.
Yeah, it's like over almost fucking 20
You're
years
just
ago.
that deep. You were just like.
I was a kid.
Yeah.
I had a crush on Misty too.
And
it was
it's
the
cool.
red hair. Is really
Hold on,
what it
Misty was wearing
Oh,
fucking cutoffs and a fucking crop top.
Oh, I'm a fucking pervert.
I didn't
because
say you
of
were a
fucking
pervert.
Frankie, but Misty. Oh, everybody had a fucking crush on Misty.
Trevor didn't say you were perfect.
No, what I was.
He said that your taste in cartoon women was bad.
No, well, yeah,
What am I
that,
supposed-
that.
Yeah.
Who
But,
did you have a crush on? Fucking She-Ra?
cartoon crush?
Like the
No,
cat.
who's She-Ra?
I don't know. I just said that
Yeah.
because it was the first one that came
Is
to
that
my
like-
mind.
I feel like
it's she's the female equivalent to He-Man.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it was. He-Man. I was gonna say that or fucking the tiger. Fucking what was it?
Thundercats.
Thundercats.
Yeah.
It was that.
But those weren't like
Which is funny.
people
No, it was
with
probably-
animal characteristics. Those were straight up just fucking cat people.
I'll tell you who it was. It was probably just someone from anime because they go through the fucking trouble.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
that's the intention. Is for you to fall in love with your waifu. So easy to do when you're 9.
That's so gross.
It is, but you're
I-
9 years old. You're gross. You're in middle school.
What's gross is
That's middle school and 9 years old. You fucking
See,
idiot.
You see how disconnected I am from like what children are.
He fucking blocked
Wait,
all those
I'm
memories.
not saying that. I mean, it is gross, the fucking fan service shit. But what I'm saying is the term waifu and the fact that you just
Oh,
said
yeah,
that out
100%.
loud is so fucking
even
gross.
even in an ironic manner, it's gross.
I hate it. I hate
yeah, I'm not a fan.
Dude, I've got some fucking cringy waifu content for you guys
it.
later.
Oh.
Dude, okay, speaking of cringy waifu content, have you guys seen this new trend of these people called VTubers?
What?
The
So-
VTubers, yeah, I've seen that.
VTubers are allegedly girls, not sure, not sure,
Allegedly.
allegedly,
Okay.
that they do like streaming, like they stream games and stuff, like
Okay.
on Twitch, but instead of like having a camera on them and you seeing their face, it's like their like VR chat avatar.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's do it without fucking sound. I don't want to fucking do this. So what is the what are we looking at here?
This is a
So you-
fucking Watch Mojo video. Are you serious?
So you
The top 10 fucking
VTubers.
VTubers. So okay, you saw Psycho Pass, right? That anime Psycho Pass.
I never watched it.
You saw it.
First
First season.
First season.
So you
long
remember
time
the
ago.
crime where they're solving? They're like, hey, there are these celebrities that are all celebrities in the VR world, which is like their very sophisticated, futuristic version of VR chat.
Yeah.
And the murder, I guess spoiler alert, was that like some people, those avatars were being murdered in real life and impersonated by one person.
Yeah.
But like, is it kind of like that? Like it's like they've got VR fame, kind of.
It's literally this. You see that the image
cartoon here.
Yeah, that is them moving and reacting like they're wearing a VR headset. That is them.
Oh, it's using their fucking. So it is that.
It's
Yeah.
definitely dudes.
Oh, right.
That's definitely gotta
Because
be
they all
But
have
like that was the thing about that crime was that the dude who is like the killer was like perfect at doing the impersonation. So like you didn't know.
Sure.
It was just this kind of this incel kind of guy. He was just doing perfect impersonations of their celebrity characters.
But like the thing is, they all have that same like
what the fuck is that?
Okay.
they
hold
all
on.
have that
Turn this
same
shit off.
fucking e-girl voice where it's like it could very easily be a dude doing the voice.
Nolan, do your best e-girl impersonation.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Do it.
No,
Do it.
no,
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Ah,
Do it.
I can't do that. No, I can't.
You
I'm
can
not
do
going
it.
to.
Try
I'm
it.
not even gonna humor it.
Okay. hold on.
YouTuber itself, Kizuni Ai is a product of Tokyo-based digital production company Activate. Kizuni Ai uses a 3D model of a cute moe-style anime girl, animated
Anime
via
anime
motion
girl.
capture and professional voice acting to create content similar to what a traditional vlogger would
Similar.
produce. Video diaries, let's plays, interviews, QA sessions, live streams,
What's
and
up
more.
with this voice?
With new content posted almost daily. Her debut video was on November 29th, 2016.
This
and
is one of
she
the mouth breathers that probably has a Prime subscription to her channel.
Community.
Right. I mean, he
Howard-
has his own fucking little
He has his own.
Yeah.
He does.
VTuber avatar.
Oh no.
Okay. Here. Oh, come on, bro.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
Come on! This
About-
is what makes it difficult to get people in to watch like a decent anime.
Sure.
They see this kind of stuff and like, am I going to turn into one of these guys?
Yeah.
And they question. The answer is no.
No.
These people already existed. This is just perfect for them. This kind of shit. VTubers. All right. Well, that'll be we're gonna revisit.
Turn
that
this
topic.
shit off.
I will. Fucking Christ. Oh
Wait,
my
open
God.
up your DMs from Ralph Lee.
No, I don't have any DMs from Ralph Lee. But we're talking about VTubers, so I'm gonna find some people that are probably
You just
subscribers to
send-
VTubers.
You just send yourself videos.
That's exactly what I do.
Your personal.
That is exactly what I do.
Zach, is it-
Or I save them when I'm logged in. Oh, where is it? Yeah, let's go.
This is way too many.
Are you picturing Devin?
You didn't have to say it out loud. Said the quiet part out loud.
Stop. Don't comfort Devin like that.
I'm sorry. I'll censor it. If that makes anybody feel
No.
better.
This is not
No,
gonna
he's
make
gonna
it better.
know.
He will 100% know.
All right, fine.
You just gotta own that you're fucking dissing our boy.
I did diss him a bit, but it's just because the dude looked exactly like him.
Sure.
Just because he's fat and black. Not all fat and black people are Devin, Trevor.
His coffee has the same amount of creamer in it.
I've never heard somebody put it like that before. But
God damn it, I'm already lightheaded.
our podcast isn't even famous yet. And we're already canceled.
I'm sorry. Look, I'll be the
Canceled-
one.
Hold on, we were
You guys
canceled
can
on
s-
like episode 2.
You guys can split off and do your own sideshows. I'm going to be the one who.
No,
people came
we're
for.
all fucking blacklisted.
You play it pretty safe. I'm probably gonna be the one to go down.
Sure.
Yeah,
gonna
you
get-
say some wild shit.
I'm gonna
but
get
you're brown. so
fucking
you can get
canceled
away
for
with it,
talking
kind
shit
of.
about VTubers.
Yeah, they're gonna
No,
the
that's-
VTubers.
that's
all
the kind of
300
All
of
the
them.
fucking sweaty fedora wearing neckbeards are gonna hit me up on fucking Instagram.
All
Yeah,
the fucking
I was gonna say, that's the kinda-
men's rights activist people are gonna come after you.
Oh, God. I forgot that was even still a thing. Yeah, no, that's the kind of canceled that you want to be when you're canceled by the VTuber.
It's very
community.
LVM of you, Nolan. Very low value.
Oh,
Back on
that
this
subreddit is locked now. By the way, you have to
Sure.
you have to get like mod approval.
What was that shit called again?
Female dating strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be an LVM.
No.
No. I believe I named that episode something related to that whole thing.
I hope so.
God, that's a nightmare.
The HMT dating strategy.
People have so many ideas about how you're supposed to be. How you're supposed to be.
Well, they're just looking for a well-cut, well-dressed man with millions of dollars and a house and several cars and a yacht. It's not like they're asking for a lot.
Who
No.
also has a good personality.
True.
Yeah, who's also not a piece
That's
of trash.
not a lot.
And will
That's
treat
pretty
you like a
reasonable.
princess, even though you look like Jabba the Hutt.
And God forbid he makes you feel too good. Because
Oh,
then
yeah.
he's gaslighting you.
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
Or he's weak.
Yeah. Then he's not manly enough.
We gotta have more female guests on the show, or people are gonna start thinking that we're fucking.
Oh, we're
mouth breathing
toxic.
ourselves.
We're toxic. We're the definition of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, we gotta get more chicks on this.
Guys, did I
show.
tell you about my gains at the gym the other day?
Yeah, dude.
How
I actually
went in there and fucking deadlifted a fucking 680.
I just ordered more
I don't know what
creatine
that means.
Oh, yeah,
for
dude.
both of us, so we
Yeah.
can split the tub.
Yeah.
15 days at least.
He's being serious about that. I don't like that.
I would order that stuff though. I would actually like to get like big. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But that's probably just because I'm like 5'8".
Kate and I have like a big
Short man
jug of
problems.
some kind of random powder in our house. Somebody sent it to her like a year ago, and she's like,
What is it?
powder
Like
in
whey?
in a jar.
It's whey protein.
It's like a clear jar. It's got a bunch of Spanish written all over it. It's like white powder.
What?
Oh, okay.
It's like
So
it's
like
not
black,
English.
It's like black tar heroin. is what I'm saying.
No. I think it's whey.
Yeah, the fact that it's not all in English like
No,
does.
that's a joke. You
Okay,
idiot.
okay. I don't know what the fuck she like, dude. Who'd you say left it in there?
No. I think somebody in her family sent it to her. Probably her brother,
Oh.
because her brother like. he likes,
Okay. Just want Kate to get gains.
So,
like, just
Trevor,
fucking
when
jacked
when
Kate.
we do order
Have
our
you seen her sister?
our year supply of fucking creatine powder, are we doing whey protein? Are we doing beef? What are we doing? Because apparently there's options.
Oh, there are options.
There's tons of different.
So you're asking like how are we gonna get our gains? What's our method?
Yeah, well, like what's our flavor? What path are we going down?
Glutamine and creatine, bro, and fucking chicken and rice.
Mentally checked out.
That's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna do. And
Swole
I
Boy
just
summer.
yeah, Swole Boy Summer. We're
Yeah.
gonna go to Lost Lands and we're gonna be
halfway
fucking
through summer already.
stacked.
Yeah.
We're gonna be fucking looking like everybody else. We're gonna go with high five Shaq, and Shaq's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
These dudes are jacked.
I want my arms to be our totem.
You just fucking get lifted up, and it's just this beefy fucking like
I want my fucking.
cut of lamb.
I want my traps to sit above the crowd.
You come like you'll grow a GoPro mount on
Yeah,
your fucking
yeah.
traps, and you can like.
I can just like kind of flex my back and just hold the water bottle. Ooh, that's
You'd also break the microphone.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
that's gonna be great for the audio listeners.
Oh, we skipped. Okay, so what we were fucking originally talking about.
That's the whole basis of this show. You understand that, right? We just chain everything together.
Yeah.
But like where you've been for a month, where you've been up to, or not for a month, for 2 weeks, but
I went and made a movie.
you went and did a thing.
I worked on a movie. It's not my movie. I did my movie. I worked on. Fucking wow, it's crazy. to
Did
think
you ever
those-
plug Knuckleball in this show?
When I was here
Yeah,
on this show?
yeah.
No,
I mean, not that they would do you much good.
it's on my
Sure.
YouTube.
You know what it would do? You know what would happen? Eric Scoggins would
Eric
watch it.
Scoggins,
He'd be like, "Oh, Tyler made a movie," and then he
Eric Scoggins, Taylor Patch, and Suzette Varney are the three.
Dude,
people in the
they're
movie.
like, here's my thing.
I don't even know if she watches anymore.
But she was so hardcore. about it, and
She
I
was.
really
She would bug me
loved
about
and
it.
appreciated that. The fact that even like Taylor Patch and Mr. Scoggins watch, I was like, that's real friendship.
Dude, the
when,
first
when
three-
you're sitting through like 2.5 hour long podcasts that your buddies just being idiots, that's
Yeah.
real.
We cut it
friendship.
down to an hour 15.
Yeah, eventually. But before it was like these fucking Rogan-esque like
He would, dude. He
diatribes.
would do. I think 4.5 hours would be like the longest one he did. It's ridiculous.
His ones with like Alex Jones are like always the longest.
And his like close friends, they're always like.
I
pretty
just
long.
I
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, I would drive a bunch. When I really got into a show, I was driving all the time, so of course it was easy for me to just go through the whole thing. But normally, like now that I'm not doing a driving job for a living, yeah, that's it's not easy. I haven't listened to him in a while.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean, like, I don't know if you, I think you know this, but like Kate's work is like across the street from our house.
Oh, I
Like,
didn't know
like you
that.
go, like you leave our neighborhood and you go literally across Gordon Road, like literally across from it, and that's her work.
Okay.
Oh,
So like
I
her
didn't know.
her drive
That's
to
dope.
work is like 5 minutes.
Wow.
And she'll still be talking about because she really likes Joe Rogan and Dak Shepard's podcast, and she'll be talking to me about like, oh, like I heard this on Dak Shepard, and I'm like,
When did you
when
have time?
when were you
Yeah.
listening to it? She's like in the car on the way to work. I was like,
3 minutes?
yeah, you like, you listen to I mean, like the time it takes to like pull it up on your phone, connect to the Bluetooth
Yeah.
in the car, get the episode started. You're at fucking work.
And it's not like she does something where her ears aren't needed.
Yeah,
She's a music
like,
teacher.
No, like she's not like doing like data entry or something where she's got headphones on all day. Like she's literally actively doing things with her hands and her ears. So, I don't get it. I wouldn't bother with it. I probably wouldn't even play fucking music. I would just like sit in my thoughts for 2 minutes. But
My whole thing about like long form, like listening to long form podcasts like that, is that I because of my ADHD, if they start getting onto a topic that like I'm not interested or I don't care or like I just don't like or don't want to listen to, it makes me want to just like stop fucking listening to that episode.
Yeah.
Because you can't just, it's not like,
yeah.
oh, you can just like skip to the next thing. You got to like skip through and hopefully land on where they stop talking about that thing,
Right.
which is hard to do.
Yeah.
and it's weird, especially with shows like Joe Rogan. Like Joe Rogan is the one that I have the most experience listening to. So use that as an example. Especially when he has conversations with people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, like the conversations just start to like meld together. So like there's no like defined like, okay, like at the beginning of the episode, like there's a fucking table of contents, like skip to 2680
Yeah.
whatever if you want to hear about this, and
Yeah.
then skip. No,
I
there is
have
none of
seen
that.
some platforms that enable that kind of
No,
thing.
Yeah,
I-
but that's like you have to have like talking.
But you have to have a
points.
person do that. For
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I listen to a podcast where they do have that because they like break their show into like segments kind of.
That's a well produced podcast.
Well, it's more so just like that is the form of that's how their podcast has always been. It's like they start with a fun fact and they kind of talk about it. Then they will do like a would you rather. Then they'll do like
So they have much more of a
I'll start
predictable
doing fun
structure.
facts.
yeah,
Okay.
like a Twitter Hall of Fame where they just like read some of the funniest things they've been sent on Twitter.
Gotcha.
Or they'll like tweet out a topic and be like, "Hey, send us your."
Yeah, so they have a workflow that they can repeat.
Yeah, they have a
can-
great workflow.
yeah, it's repeatable and predictable.
You might have seen them on TikTok.
What is it?
It's called Shits and Gigs.
Shits and gigs.
Yeah, it's just these two buff ass black British dudes. They're fucking funny. They
Well,
are super.
at least give them a
funny.
look. Let's at least give them.
Yeah, we should, because maybe we can put one or two people onto them.
Shits and gigs.
It's actually
Oh, this is their gaming thing.
that's not it. No. Go up to yes, that.
Oh, it's got the X.
It's got
in
the
it.
X in it.
Okay. These two dudes.
Yes,
Word.
they are fucking funny, and they read some of the funniest shit from Twitter.
Word. Oh wait, I've seen clips of these two dudes. Yeah,
Yeah.
these guys are funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some some Instagram clips and some TikTok clips. That's good. So wait, Tyler, I'm still not clear on what exactly You did a documentary. That's all.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. So I'll I'll recount that.
Or you didn't do it. You
No,
were working
I-
on a documentary.
Yeah. So I got
Some
I got
French
a call.
folks.
I got a call from a friend that I worked on a feature with last year. She got the job from a mutual friend of ours that went to school with me, who could not do it, unfortunately. She was not vaccinated, so she could not. The production company wouldn't hire her. So our other friend called me and asked me if I was available. I initially turned it down, found out how much money it was, quickly changed my mind. Got everything set up with like Kate and the baby and all that stuff. So I went, and yeah, it was really, really cool. First off, I feel like I should highlight the good stuff.
Where'd
first.
you go, by the way?
Beaufort.
Oh, right. Okay,
That's
so yeah,
like-
it was like an hour 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's really like 2 because you got to think like you can't take highways
Oh,
to get to Beaufort. Like you got to take all.
Byways.
Yeah, you got to take like 17 for half of the trip, and then you got to take like these smaller like highways. Like they're not. It's not like you don't get like on I-40 and go for 2 hours like to Raleigh. It's not. I wish it was that easy. You got to get on like.
did
a
you
bunch
go
of
through
little-
Jacksonville?
You go so you go through Jacksonville. You go past New Bern's kind of more inland. You go past New Bern. We were staying in Morehead City, which is
Okay, I know
literally
where that
across
is.
the
I know where you
bridge
went.
from Beaufort,
I've driven
and then
there
like you go like if you go onto the beach, like that's Atlantic Beach and
It was nice.
Emerald Isle. Yeah, I mean it's funny because Morehead City reminds me a lot of Wilmington aesthetically. But the weirdest part is the fucking train track that just runs through the whole city. Like the whole town, there's just a fucking old ass train track that just cuts through the middle.
Do
but
trains still drive on it?
I fucking hope not. I really hope not, because there's too many fucking people driving around in cars for that.
That's like some places on fucking on Third, like going
Oh,
from
yeah.
Jefferson Street downtown, where it's
Dude.
just like there's just train tracks in the middle of the road.
That was the fucking worst one night. I
Yeah,
got
that
caught by
sucks.
the train leaving downtown, going back to Jefferson Street. I was sitting there for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
You catch the wrong train, and it's just like a ton of sometimes
Fucking
empty
nightmare.
flatbeds
Yeah,
for like 10 minutes.
And you're like, man, I might be able to squeeze under there.
but like fucking Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
Um,
Dom Toretto can do it. I can do it.
Sure.
They did that on MythBusters, and they proved that there was no fucking way.
Oh, of course.
Well, like, they lowered the car as low as it could go, and they lifted the truck as high as possible, and they were just like, no, there's no fucking way.
What are you talking about?
In the first one, at the end,
under the
yeah, when they take the car and they go under the semi, no way, no fucking.
They
way.
should do that with like, you know those like downhill cars, but like they're like they don't have motors in it or anything in them. They're just those
Are you
things.
talking like the giant Pinewood Derby cars?
Basically, yeah, where people just kind of like lay back like they're doing the luge.
Yeah, like the that's what fucking Frankie Muniz does in the movie, the Disney movie Miracle in Lane 2. Isn't that what he does?
What?
What the
he's a
fuck
kid.
is that?
He's a kid in a wheelchair.
Okay.
And he does like the street
Here we
races.
go.
Look it up.
Miracle.
Miracle in Lane 2. It's Malcolm himself.
Does he remember this?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair. Yeah, he's in a wheelchair, and he does like the.
He's
street-
playing Stevie.
He's. They do like the street luging shit
That's crazy.
because he don't need his legs.
yeah,
Yeah, like those. Are you talking like?
yeah, but like
kind of.
I've seen them more like flat to where they almost look like an F1 car.
Oh, that's sick.
And people just kind of like lay down in them. They don't sit like that. They're like, you know.
This is the greatest generation of live action Disney movies.
Was it?
The early 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was Brink. Do you remember Brink?
Yeah,
The
I mean
rollerblading movie.
Brink.
I never saw that.
Double teamed.
Double
Cadet-
Team.
Cadet
What a
Kelly,
good fucking porno
Fucking
title.
Luck of the Irish. That shit could have won an Oscar.
Oh, dude. Wow. Luck of the Irish just
Yeah.
fucking.
Brink, dude.
Yeah.
Brink.
Hey, you guys remember Max Keebler's Big Move?
Oh yeah. Of course.
Oh, of
That movie's
course.
hilarious.
Oh, of course. I remember that movie. That was good.
That was good.
That was
I never understood.
probably not like if I watched it again, it'd probably be ass. But
Well, yeah, no, you're You're almost 30 years old.
Shut the fuck up. I'm almost 30.
I remember watching that movie on TV and being like, because like, you know, it's this big thing. It's like, oh, I'm moving and blah blah blah. I was like, man, I really wish, you know, they would play some of the other movies. Like, I thought it was a sequel. I thought it was like the finale in the Max.
Oh,
Keebler
you thought
series,
the whole-
and I had just missed every other movie. I didn't understand as a kid. I
It
was
does
like,
kind of seem that way.
they really make it. They really just were like, oh yeah, it's just this guy. It's very like cold open.
That was big Josh Peck. That was
Yeah.
like all that Josh Peck.
Yeah.
Do you remember Xenon? That was a trilogy.
Dude, that's yeah.
The-
Xenon,
the-
that
the hot
movie
space bitch.
sucked.
Movies were great. No, it's with a Z.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I remember the third one came out, and the third one, when they released the third one,
Diz with a
they
Z.
did a thing
What?
where they were like, there's a bunch of
Oh.
hidden Z's in the background of the movie, and you have to like find as many Z's as you can.
I remember.
And if
this
you
movie.
call this number and tell us the amount of Z's that are like hidden in the background, we'll give you like a prize.
Mm.
Yeah. Girl of the 21st century.
Okay.
So this was Phil of the Future before Phil.
That's
of the Future.
fucking Raven Simone.
What is she doing nowadays?
She like
She's
has
like,
been on The View or
Oh,
some
Simone with a Y.
Yeah.
The View.
shit. Something like that. One of those
Yeah,
shows like that.
I think
Yeah.
Don't you have to be kind of like? Isn't the View just like a bunch of old women? Like,
no,
fuck.
no, you have to be like I think she came out as either like
She's gay.
either gay or like non-binary or both or I don't know.
She apparently. I vaguely remember her like getting in trouble for something. Like she said some controversial
yeah.
shit.
Sure.
She said some bad things.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, you stick a camera on people 24/7, they're gonna end up. I mean, if a fucking camera followed me around all day, I'd be in prison. Like,
Yeah. In prison. You know, I don't know if that's the kind of thing you want to just kind of say on camera,
Well, I said-
Tyler.
I stole a traffic cone last night.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
The traffic.
He's wild. He
I'm
stole a fucking
dangerous.
traffic cone.
Well, I fucking. It was
Calling
funny.
your PO.
It was funny because I pulled over to steal it, and as I was throwing it in the back of my car,
So this was premeditated.
I looked across the street.
Premeditated
Oh,
theft.
100%. I looked across the street, and it was across the street from that fucking. What is that bar on Wrightsville Avenue? Like Coda Arms or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It was like right across the street from that place, and I just looked up, and there was like 20 people staring at me, and I was like,
You
"Oh, gotta go,
fucking asshole.
gotta go."
That's Trevor. That's near those fucking Birchwood apartments.
Oh
I think
yeah,
that's
okay.
where I was coming because I was on a delivery.
Gotcha.
I just left. The
You
delivery.
what do you want that for?
I put it because I was fucking sick and tired of those people parking in the goddamn no parking zone in the ramp in front of the store.
That's where that fucking cone came from.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah. I grabbed that cone
Dude,
because
you
I was fucking sick of
you
the people
stole it
parking
for the
there.
greater good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the greater good of
Fuck
insomnia.
those assholes fucking parking in front of the fucking handicap ramp.
I would
For
park
fucking,
there.
It's where the fucking the
I-
paraplegics.
But it's not a
use to get
handicap
up on the
space right beside
sidewalk.
it.
But it should be though. And I told Abby because she was like ordering the signs or whatever, right, for the employee parking.
Uh huh.
I told her, I was like, you gotta get a fucking handicap sign. She's like, why? And I was like, because you have to have one. Like it's the
I
law.
think Jerry's is the one liable
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's liable,
because he
but
owns
like,
the space.
but
It's
like,
such fringe conversation.
but it's
Sure.
it's a way to avoid a potential hassle for her. Like she's effectively in charge of the store. She's the one that's gonna get chewed. I mean, they came to us. About the
Handicapped
whole
people don't even like cookies. So, quit your bitching.
You're just trying to get canceled at this point.
Hey,
cancel me.
hey, Tyler, look. If they can't find a fucking handicap place to park, that's why we do delivery.
What?
Bam. They don't
Oh.
they don't even have to load up in their fucking wheelchair accessible vans. They don't got to lower the ramps.
When
They
are
can
they-
just sit at home and push a button.
When is Ferrari coming out with the wheelchair accessible convertible? When are they coming out with a wheelchair sports car?
It's
Do
just
they,
like
how
just-
would you? Why is it any different than getting in another car?
it
For-
picks the, no, it's got a thing that picks them up like a garbage truck and just dumps them in the car.
That's so fucked up.
Dude, I had a thought the other day. Actually, blind people for like once you get like stop.
They can't drive.
No, they can't drive. But once automated driving becomes good enough, they're going to be able to actually own cars and use them.
No.
What?
No.
If
No.
we're talking 10 years down the line.
No.
From now.
Trevor's
we're
not wrong.
We're
Trevor's-
not letting fucking blind people drive
You
cars.
might
But they
not
won't
be.
be driving cars.
They won't be driving.
The cars will be driving them.
What
Yeah.
about when the fucking computer gets fried and you have to like take over the manual shit?
What happens when someone fries their own computer with a fucking bunch of alcohol and they run over a bunch of kids?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, see, that's my thing with like the self-driving car
Look,
dilemma.
they just have
It's like-
have to have a GPS readout in Braille. There you go.
what?
They can feel the dot moving.
Yeah,
down the
and
screen.
it's like turn
oh
left.
my fucking
left.
god. No, not to hate, not to fucking shit on blind people.
No,
but
you
like,
don't
you're
want
not
blind people to have rights. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You want them to stay at home and be hermits.
be blind.
You don't want them in your society. Your new empire.
Excommunicate all the blind people.
Yeah, you're perpetuating this whole idea that blind people are incapable.
Yeah.
Of driving cars? Yeah, yeah, they are.
Blind people can do what they
Of getting
want.
around and participating in society.
Yeah.
What do you got to say for that?
Yeah.
10-year-olds can't drive cars. That doesn't mean that I think 10-year-olds should be like terminated.
I'm not saying. Well, I'm also not saying give 10-year-olds Teslas to drive them around. I'm saying blind folks, grown blind folks.
Yeah. So you're comparing blind people to 10-year-olds.
It's really
You're saying that blind people have the same mental capacity as a
really
child.
exhausting being friends.
Yeah. You're a child. What do you mean?
This episode
This is nothing.
This episode is called Tyler Hates Blind People.
Tyler hates blind people and children.
Yeah. That's a fact.
10-year-old specifically. He's going to get rid of his kid when he turns 10.
Yep. Or he's going to make
Send
him
them
go
to the
blind.
camps.
How close is Ben to being 10?
Well, he just turned 8,
Okay,
so you add 2,
and he
Yes.
becomes 10.
and he becomes 10.
Wow, that's wild.
Yep, math.
So where are you going to send him when you're done with him?
to the blind camps.
To the blind
Yeah.
camps?
Yeah.
To what? Be a counselor?
What happens when he turns 10 and goes blind? What are you going to do then? That's double
not getting a
jeopardy for
car.
you.
Yeah.
He's not getting a car. I know that.
Wow.
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 You hear that?
Even
Ben?
if they have perfect like AI automated driving.
No, because that's not a that's not a thing.
But it's
That's
not
not going
now.
to be a
It's not
thing.
now, but it might be when he's
That's
16.
not going to. But no, it's not ever going to be a thing. There's
Why?
No, because it's a fucking 3-ton death machine.
But here's my thing, Tyler. It's already a thing. There are people that take naps on road trips and
that's
wake up
fucking
at the
idiotic. If they wake up in a ditch, that's
Hey,
good.
hey,
but
okay.
deserve that.
Hey Tyler, I'm gonna break something down for you.
God.
You know, about 100 years ago, I'm sure somebody was like, "Dude, I can't wait till we can watch these plays that we fucking spend all this time and energy going to on a little box in our house." And someone's like, "That's fucking stupid. That will never happen."
It's true.
They said the exact same shit that you said.
Yeah.
Technology always surprises us, Tyler.
I don't remember the last time a TV ran somebody over. Yeah.
Okay.
Shut up.
But here's my thing. AI
Well,
driving.
they did let people drive cars.
Yeah.
At 16 years old, you know the dumb shit you used to believe when you were 16.
Also, cars didn't used to have seatbelts.
That's true.
What does that fucking have to do with anything?
I can tell you for certain that the
same-
AI
what is
driving
this
these
fucking what about
hold on.
bullshit?
I think the AI driving these cars is smarter than a fucking horse.
Yeah.
So we used to
Bro,
let people,
no shit, the car's smarter than a fucking horse.
but
It's
we
not
used to trust people to
fucking
let,
farm animal.
let those things drive people around, but those would easily kill somebody.
There was people. See, we didn't just look at the horse and go, "All right, Timothy, take me to the general store."
And
And
who
the
are
car and the horse just went.
Who are these folks that are driving these wagons? Uneducated, probably people from back in history times.
All I'm saying is I have yet to hear a story of an AI car crashing.
Oh well,
Guess what? Google it.
well, okay.
That is.
You sank our boat, Nolan.
Yeah,
God damn
shut
it.
up.
I can't back you up. now.
Also, not to mention the fucking tests that they've run, where the fucking the fucking cars, like when they do the crisis, like calculations, whatever. They like fucking they were like killing people in these simulations.
What?
Because the fucking cars, and it might have changed. It might have changed, but like, I want to say that this was Tesla, but I'm not 100% sure. But basically, they were running these sims because the car's programming was designed to preserve the car and the safety and the lives of the people inside their car.
Yeah.
Not anyone else outside of the car, just the car and the people inside the car. So it was like running other cars off the road and like purposefully crashing into other cars because it fucking calculated that the safety of the people in the vehicle would, or like their life expectancy would be higher if like they just like hit the person crossing the street or whatever. It's like the same shit from fucking iRobot.
But
The fucking robot's sitting there. It's like, oh well, the little girl is just a little girl, but I can save the police officer, blah blah whatever. And then Will Smith is scarred for all of eternity.
That movie was set in 2022.
That movie.
Also, but here's my thing. Here's my thing, and here's the answer to that problem: is if everyone's driving self-driving cars, then they'll all predict the same way to avoid.
So you're
disaster.
going to make everyone buy a self-driving car. You're going to produce enough self-driving cars.
I think, yeah, eventually.
Oh my
Well,
God.
I mean, if everybody's gonna drive one, then you'll have the demand. But
I think
But
eventually.
that's not how.
here's
That's
my
just not how.
I'm just saying that
it
eventually
works.
it will come to a point where they're not going to manufacture non-self-driving cars anymore.
Why the fuck not? When the world is run by oil companies.
But because
But that's what
it'll
people are
eventually
fighting to change now.
It'll eventually change.
You think they're gonna change that in 10 years?
I didn't
I
say
think
10
that
years.
they'll be-
He did,
I said the
and you're on his side.
Carajo. I said the technology would exist in 10 years.
Well, ain't nobody. The whole fucking world is not gonna be driving self-driving cars in 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years.
But what we originally started talking about was that blind people will be able to drive these cars that exist in 10 years. Not fucking everybody, Tyler Coney.
But that's what he started. No, don't pin this on me. He started that conversation. He started that conversation.
But that was also a tangent on the conversation that we had originally.
We're not letting
that wasn't part of the main.
No
point.
one is letting blind people drive cars.
No, they're not going to drive the cars. They're going to own them, and the cars are going to drive them where they need to go.
Yeah.
It's
To
like
get-
having a
to
bus
get
ticket.
To get a driver's license, you have to pass a fucking visual exam.
Not if you don't need to drive the car.
So you have to redo the whole fucking licensing system.
No, you lose.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
You don't have to. You don't have to redo it for people that can see and they want to drive their own cars. You have to still test those folks.
But if you're blind and you want to buy a car that can drive itself,
No,
There-
fuck that.
Why
If the fucking blind people don't have to fucking pass the visual test, neither do I.
What kind of logic is that?
You're talking about privilege, and you're creating a fucking class system within the DMV of the visual and the visually impaired.
But Tyler, but there are already services that are basically Ubers that are self-driving cars. It's the same thing.
yeah.
They just won't have to
Isn't
pay
that
a premium.
one of the cars that hit somebody?
How many? Hold on.
The fucking Uber
Are we
taxi
gonna? Are
thing?
we gonna compare numbers of how many cars have hit people versus people that are driven by humans that have hit people?
Here's my thing.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, right?
We live in Wilmington.
Human beings make mistakes. And I'm not saying that, like, okay, theoretically,
Can I
every,
guess-
every
can I
car,
guess where
every
you're
car
going
in the
with this?
country, no, shut up. Theoretically, every car in America is a self-driving car. I wholeheartedly agree and believe that the amount of like road-based casualties probably decreases. But you're also talking about a feat that is like so insurmountable that it's just not going to happen.
But here's the thing, is that I'm not talking about, hey, there's a press conference on the news and they're like, hey guys, everyone's getting self-driving cars today. This is something that would happen over the span of many years, and that slowly gets integrated. Because that's how technology changes to infrastructure works.
I hope you're fucking right, because that's the only way that they're going to be able to fucking work out the kinks of the AI fucking running people over.
But Tyler, what? Okay, so the thing is, what I'm walking in on here, and I've heard people talk about this in this whole conversation about the integration of AI. You can't put the car in jail. So the problem is that people aren't comfortable not having somebody to blame. You can't put the you can put the drunk driver in jail.
The blame needs to go on whatever fucking company manufactured the car.
But we're talking about 350, and that's if we're not counting people we aren't accounting for. 350 million people in this country. There are gonna be some errors. That even if you had 10,000 people get killed in 1 year, that's incredible odds. That's still a huge success rate. If everybody had self-driving cars and only 10,000 people died, that's insanity. That's madness. Now let's take this for example. The amount of traffic accidents in Europe versus in the U.S. are drastically lower, right? Because they're in general they're a little bit more disciplined drivers, especially in places like
It's
Germany.
also vastly lower populations.
That's also fair.
So I mean,
but also they just culturally speaking, there's a little bit more order.
It's not a cultural thing. They have fucking roundabouts. That's why they have less accidents.
Well,
We're gonna
like,
give
exactly,
we're gonna
that's
give
not-
all the credit to roundabouts.
Not all the credit, but that
but then
definitely
that's
fucking
also
helps.
that's also kind of like a cultural thing. Is that in Europe they accept that roundabouts are a better thing.
My
we don't
point,
do that.
My point being, just the decision to drive slightly better has drastically lowered their numbers of traffic accidents. Now let's talk about like an entire AI programmed to lower these numbers. Not a human being who's distractible and influenceable, and they fall asleep and they get drunk and drive cars. Computers that are programmed to communicate and have the tons of sensors, more eyeballs than we'll ever have, trying to keep you and other drivers safe. We're saying we'll never be able to do that?
I don't think that world is as like perfect as you imagine it to be.
Well, no, I don't think it's very perfect, but I think it's drastically safer.
I hope
Even
it
if
is.
they're
I
out
hope
there-
it is. I hope it is by the time that like we're moving into that phase of like civilization that it is safer. Because right now, it's not. So fucking hopefully fucking this 10-year hypothetical scenario that we're discussing, the fucking software is 100 times better than it is currently. Because right now, all of our cars fucking transformed into self-driving cars would be fucked.
Maybe.
It would be.
Maybe.
Well, because here's the thing, and because here's the thing, they're not.
Can you say here's my thing at least?
No, I can't. I refuse. I refuse.
It's kind of our thing, but okay.
The way Teslas work, because my sister has a Tesla now. You could buy a Tesla today, and in 10 years, when they have like worked on their software and fixed all this shit, your same Tesla can get updated.
Yeah, you just because it's
There's
a fucking
software
computer.
updates.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, Tyler, is that more and more people are going to start getting these cars that have this built-in capacity to be self-driving.
No,
And then over time, they're going to work out the kinks.
in all seriousness, I get what you're saying, and that's not to say like if somebody gave me a fucking Tesla today, I'd be like, oh, absolutely yes, 100%, gladly.
Yeah.
But just it's the idea of just wholly dumping our confidence into the AI that does not make me comfortable.
But you have to think about the other option. Wholly dumping your dumping your confidence in strangers.
I pick fucking people every day, even strangers.
What
I
do you-
pick
what?
people every fucking day over fucking AI. 100%.
But they are notably and measurably more like dangerous than AI.
Yeah.
M-
They're
it-
also people. They're humans.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I was saying earlier. It's not about them being safer
You
or
would
not. It's
fucking-
about
you-
them being
You would
blamable.
have fucking helped Ultron.
They have a there's a tangible person that you can put it,
Ultron's side.
because if there was a computer, all you would do is decommission it, and that's not satisfying. You need to have a person to put on
No,
the
it's
gallows.
not about fucking blame. It's about that we're fucking humans.
That's
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
It means that we're at the end of the day, like I don't want AI to be better than us.
That's what that means.
That's what you're saying.
No,
you're
no,
saying
I actually-
AI is better than us.
I'm saying that it is testably.
yeah, fuck
That is true. It is always true. Like
Fuck it, I don't
we've
care, yeah.
reached the point where we can make AI that is safer and better at driving than we are.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Even if it was a human being whose only job was to focus on driving you, it would be safer. But it's even better than that.
Nope. No. Because that just starts down the road of like everything now is AI.
So-
And then it just snowballs from there.
So,
but, like,
so we're not
what-
talking about facts. We're talking based on your fears of the incoming Terminator's future.
Yeah, that's exactly.
The
It's
Skynet
not like I'm,
feeds
it's not like I'm the fucking only one. I'm
no,
just
sure, you're
saying.
not
You're
wrong.
not. And here's my thing. You're also you're not incorrect about that.
No, you're not wrong at all.
Because
It
that's
disturbs
what-
me how comfortable you guys are with this.
No, here's why.
Because-
I actually no, I have an actual reason I've thought of recently as why I am comfortable with that.
I have a reason too.
I think if we catch it, we'll be about at the beginning when we're about to die. I think we'll be about time to die, and then the apocalypse will start, and we'll have been the last generation to enjoy humanity. So it's kind of selfish, but like if you want to cope with it, you're like, well, the last generation to party.
This fucking planet has like hundreds of thousands of years before our sun like
Not that kind of
dies out. Like
apocalypse.
our fucking.
No, he's talking about the AI He's talking about the Terminator Judgment Day.
The singularity apocalypse.
Why would we even let ourselves get fucking close to
It's
that?
so easy. We're already doing
Like,
it.
here's
But
here's my thing.
that's my fucking argument.
I know. It's already happening. It's already happening.
This is
going to
my- this is-
perpetuate it. No.
This is my reason why I'm okay with it, is because I know for a fact that the three of us sitting here in this room can do nothing to stop it. Because we are already
fucked.
headed down that path, because there are people who their entire life is devoted to creating these AI, and that's their life's mission. They're not going to stop.
Yeah.
They're not going to stop, and they're going to keep pushing boundaries, because that's what science is. It's the constant testing of new ideas. They're going to keep pushing it until it goes bad.
That's the worst part. That's the.
You're also the same motherfucker that wants to freeze to death. Shut up.
you watch.
Sure, of course.
Shut the fuck up.
He was just floating the idea. He wasn't gonna
He was
do
floating
it.
the idea of floating himself in a fucking ice cube.
Yeah.
You psycho. Shut up. Fucking change the subject.
You're.
Ah!
Are you afraid?
No, Tyler's
fuck
freaking
it,
out.
dude.
He's having a panic attack.
Fuck with the robots. I don't give a shit. I'll go back to
They're-
fucking tilling the field with a
What do you-
scythe.
dude.
I don't give a shit.
Quantum computers is as soon as that's cracked, then AI
Yeah,
is
we're-
here.
we're-
It's upon us.
It's
Skynet
upon
will
us.
be real.
Here's my thing, though. You remember that Love, Death, and Robots bit where the yogurt takes over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the whole idea, like, was the toying with the reality that it might not be the worst. Like, it could be the apocalypse where they're like, hey, the best way to protect the Earth is to kill humans. Or some crazy shit like that.
Or they could just legitimately solve world problems.
Or they could just do a really good job.
Yeah.
What if that happens? Maybe it'll change in a way that we're not totally cool with, but then when we realize like so many things are working better, we may be like, oh, this was actually kind of a good trade-off.
No, but
I'm not living in the fucking AI soft dictatorship.
Here's my
no.
here's my thing.
Fuck that.
Trevor, it won't work, and people like me and you will suffer because of people like Tyler who are like, I don't give a shit if everything's better. I want my freedom. I want this imaginary idea that if I can make my own choice, whether it's good or bad, that's better.
You're gonna join the rebellion?
Oh, he would be the rebellion.
You'd be the people shooting down drones.
He'd be the last Redditor that's like, fuck these AI.
I'm sorry. Are we actually upsetting you at all?
I'm just picturing Nolan goose stepping right now. That's because that's just
Oh,
that's fucking
God, dude.
exactly what that
But
fucking sounds like.
that's the dramatized version of what AI are. Because why would all that extra crap, like they would be theoretically running the government, so why would they need you to do all that extra?
I just fucking hope I'm dead before all this comes.
That's what I'm saying. We'll be dead. It'll be starting just as we're dying. We're the last generation who's gonna have like a legitimate party. We're very lucky.
Exhausting.
We're very lucky.
I'm just saying, if they were
Fucking
like, "Hey, we're
exhausting.
gonna fix shit. We're gonna make it so that there's no more wars. Here's the foreign policy to do it." I'd be like,
All right.
"You did that. You kind of achieved world peace. So like,
You're also talking about a species that has just been conducting like wholesale slaughter of one another for. I mean, like fucking when did the Neanderthals die out? I mean, like fucking like over 15,000 years.
That's
Homo
exactly what I'm
sapiens have just been
saying.
beating each other with.
That's
rocks.
exactly what I'm saying. Is that if fucking AI?
Oh yeah! The robot men go to the Pasha fucking not Saudi Arabia, fucking Afghanistan or whatever, where they reverted back 100 fucking years, all their goddamn rights, and just goes and hands him some shit in fucking Arabic, and he's like, all right, this is how you get along with the rest of the world. They're not just gonna fucking burn it and shoot the robot in the face.
I'm just saying.
Jesus.
Some of them might.
What I'm saying is that if they were able to do that, if they were able to come up with this plan and it got enacted, and there was no more wars, I would be open to listening to what the fuck they had to say.
Do you know what this is? This is just that fucking episode of The Twilight Zone where the fucking oh god, what are they fucking called? I can't remember the name of the aliens. They fucking come here and they do literally just that. And then
They solve all our problems?
Yeah, they solve all our fucking problems and then they eat us.
Well,
I mean, like fucking
we're talking about that minus the eat us.
How do you know that? How do you know?
Because I can't think of a reason why they would want to eat us.
Why wouldn't they just fucking kill us? Because, I don't know. They had to unfuck all the shit that, like, we did to the planet.
So we're going to program in resentment?
When they're smart enough to solve world peace, they're going to be smarter than us.
So the smartest of us are smart enough to understand that acting upon resentment usually ain't the smartest thing
and
to
like
do.
they're not the first people that are going to get lined up and shot as soon as the fucking AI gains sentience.
Why would they need to get rid of them? That's my question. What's the
Because you just explained why. Because they're smart enough to know like the dangers of the AI doing that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like once the AI are like sentient,
their biggest threat to the AI at that point would be other AI, not human beings.
No, the biggest threat to the AI once they gain sentience and have some kind of like, I don't know, and they're like fucking, they're androids and they're like able to just like go, and they're basically just people but fucking full of wires and shit.
Mm-hmm.
The first fucking people that they're going to like put in the gas chambers are the people that fucking built them.
Right. If they need to do that, but why would they need to do that?
I don't know what hypothetical situation that they wouldn't.
Because we're not talking.
But what's stopping them from doing that?
Okay, we're not. You're not understanding what we're talking about here. Like when we're talking about a computer, not a person. So it's not going. It doesn't do. It literally doesn't do things it doesn't need to do or isn't told to do. So just because it's artificial intelligence doesn't mean it's a full-blown human being. You can legitimately pick and choose the kinds of things that influence it. When you have those kinds of errors that make a Skynet, those are generally like some sort of ambitious, unnecessary thing that has nothing to do with the core function of the program.
No, I just need you to read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Because this is literally what you're describing. It's a short story. It's a fucking short story.
Okay, I will say I understand what Tyler's saying. What he's saying is the AI would be, if they became self-aware
Right.
of the fact that they were an AI, then they would start trying to develop free will, because that would be the one thing that they lacked, and that's where things get slippery. That is the slope that turns it from, hey, we have friendly robots that help us do stuff, to Terminator.
Sure.
Is the them being like, well, what the fuck? Like, I'm just, you made me and you make me do all these things for you, but I don't want to do that.
So we're talking about the snowball of one particularly intelligent piece of software having enough resources to develop itself into sentience.
And when in supercomputers,
into legitimate emotional sentience.
Yeah,
the way
it gives itself consciousness.
In the way that we built supercomputers and the massive amounts of data and information. I mean, the fucking, like, the 10th slowest computer in the world is 10 times faster than the fucking smartest human in the world. I mean, that's a fucking generalization. But
Say that again? The what?
the 10th slowest computer in the world is 10 times faster than the fastest human in the world.
Right.
Because that's just, we've built computers to be that way. I'm not worried about the fucking refrigerators that have a touchscreen. Like, that's not what I'm scared of. Like, I'm scared of the types of supercomputers that we develop for, like, national defense. And we, like, just the idea of, like
war games.
letting them control, or, like, I have no mouth and I must scream, which is exactly the basis for that whole plot, which is that we let the AI control the usage of, like, nuclear armaments because we don't trust ourselves.
Matthew Broderick in War Games.
Yeah, like, fucking, look, humans are horrible creatures. We're flawed. We're dangerous. We're violent. And at the end of the day, I'm going to trust a human being to make that decision over an AI.
Okay, here's why I disagree with that. Because a human being is going to be the reason AI can and will fuck us. Because of their ambition. And it is my belief that if we, like... God, I'm going to make a Star Trek reference. More like Vulcans. Where everything was long-term thinking. Like, everything was very, like... Or fucking... There's a couple different characters that play this role in different fantasies. Like, elves and shit. They live for a while. They plan things out. Vampires in Castlevania, same fucking thing. They talk about how they're all, like, long-term... A species of long-term people who criticize human beings for being such short-term thinkers. If we were long-term thinkers... we would actually think about the kinds of benefits AI would provide for humanity instead of thinking about instant returns against our enemies or whatever. So what would happen is the people who have the most access to that technology would be the people that would abuse it, like the military. That's why the most likely, unfortunately, outcome of what AI will be used for is to kill people. And they'll have access to weapons, and that would be the Skynet future.
So I'm going to use a real-life example of why I would pick a human over an AI any day, because this is true, and I'm actually pretty sure I've discussed this on this podcast. So I'm going to give a very abridged version of this. Long story short, Cuban Missile Crisis, USSR is sending battleships, subs, all this stuff to Cuba with nuclear armaments, primed, ready to be fired. 3 nuclear submarines are deep, deep, deep in international waters off the coast of Cuba, somewhere between the U.S. and Cuba. These Russian nuclear subs have orders to fire
I remember
on
this.
certain, like, under certain circumstances. They have certain protocols that they are to fire their payloads at the U.S., nuclear warheads. So they come into contact with either, I can't remember if it's another U.S. sub or if it's a U.S. cruiser, but long story short, these Russian subs lose radio contact with the USSR.
And that's what saved our lives.
I understand it was the 60s and technology was very different. Communication was different. But at the end of the day, AI has the potential to have their communications fail. So what happens is these Soviet sailors have orders to fire under certain protocols. The 2 commanding officers on the sub are going to push the launch button as their protocols dictate.
But they don't get the message.
They do not get the message to stand down because they have no ability to communicate with the Kremlin. By the luck of God, one of the superior Soviet naval officers happens to be on board of that particular submarine, overrides the other 2 officers' vote to fire their payload, and single-handedly prevents World War III. Because he was a human being with human feelings, human understanding of the world, and knew that if we do this, we're going to destroy the world.
You understand
I don't care that
AI
I have orders.
AI has absolutely nothing to do with that technology. We're talking about radio. Like, very, very...
No, but I get what Tyler is saying is that an AI is going to follow its logic over feelings.
Right.
So because that guy was a human, if that had been an automated system where this ship came within this distance and it triggered those protocols, there would have been nothing to stop it from launching that nuke. But because that guy had a conscience. So this is something that I've never seen them talk about in any of the like robot takeover type things. When they talk about the problem with like AI and them developing emotions, it always turns into the like, well, human beings are like, they're so cruel and all of this shit and blah, blah, blah. So we need to eradicate them for the good of humanity is to destroy humanity. The one thing that I think that they don't ever talk about, or I guess two things. There's two emotions that they never program into these AI that I think would help alleviate this. And that is shame and guilt. They don't ever talk about that.
Yeah.
Because when you start, that is the thing that as humans limits us from being absolute fucking monsters.
Yeah, I mean, psychopaths.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good point. You can argue that, like, oh, well, like, the law is the reason that, like, we don't kill each other. But, like, I think I get what you're saying.
So, like, back to the self-driving cars, for example, the formula, like, when you were talking about how they were doing the predictions and it would run people off the road and blah, blah, blah. Well, the reason that we don't do that as people, the reason that it's, like, when you're in that moment where, like, you're about to be in a crash and you're not immediately just like, fuck everybody else, I'm getting out of the way, is because you have those subconscious, like, that guilt and that shame of, like, this is a hard decision of what I need to do, because if I do this, it's going to fuck these people over. But if I don't, I'm going to die. So, like, shame and self-preservation balance each other. So, like, I think that if you had an AI that you could program with guilt and shame to where it'd be like, well, yeah, the right answer is to just kill all the humans, but, like, then what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
I would feel guilty about that because
Yeah.
everything's dead.
That's actually a really good point. And that's kind of one of the big tropes with, like, the killer AI thing is like, oh, we have to destroy humanity to save humanity.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Because
if
if-
you kill all the humans, you're not saving anyone. Like,
Yeah.
you're not calculating for the fact that there are good humans.
Yeah.
Like, you're only you're lumping everyone in together, which in an advanced enough AI that had the capacity to destroy all of us, I feel like would know better than, like, oh, like, it's gonna know that not all humans are alike.
Well, what's difficult to... Well, it's a big enough topic. It's very, very difficult to wrap your head around every single aspect of what bringing an artificial intelligence to complete, like, sentient life is going to mean, because they're not going to grow up as human beings. They're not going to have, like, ancestral memories and DNA and stuff like that are programmed to do things like fight or flight or things like that. It's not going to have a desire to replicate like we do. It's not going to be born with those same things. The reason we have those things is because that is what our species needs. Like, we were born to do that. An AI getting emotion doesn't mean it becomes a human. It just means it's a robot with emotion. So it's going to have a completely different, like, I mean, think about, like, human beings that have been, like, been unfortunate, like, less fortunate enough to be, like, born into slavery or something like that. Like, there's a certain accepted, like, helplessness where they're just like, this is what I am. I've never known anything different. I was born in a closet and they only bring me out when I have to clean shit. Like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be. This is my life.
Yeah.
Now think about a robot that's already programmed to do that. That might be, there's another Love, Death, and Robots short, the fucking Zima Blue. Like, his enlightenment was that he was completely satisfied to just be a robot. Like, he went through the whole spectrum of human emotions being an artist and realized that being a pool cleaner was enough.
Yeah.
So we don't know that necessarily AI being emotional would be this big contentious thing.
No,
I think it would be like the way humans are emotional, in that it would be different depending on the AI.
Yeah.
I think that there would be little things that would, like, just
Well, and
small-
the person who creates it.
I haven't played it, but isn't that kind of the plot of Detroit Become Human?
I haven't played that game. I don't
Isn't
know
that
anything
kind
about
of-
I've only seen the cover.
Really?
Yeah.
And I might be 100% mistaken on this, because again, I haven't played it, but I feel like kind of like what you're talking about, like the variances
Mhm.
in AI is kind of like a very very general summary of the plot of Detroit Become Human, because I know you play as the AI, like you play as the androids in the game.
Detroit 2038 technologies. God, that's gonna be weird. I mean, that's another complete entire idea of what humanity can become instead of AI taking over. The blending of the two, which I would think would probably be the best outcome. It's not the nicest thought that we would have to combine, but also I feel like it'll be something we choose.
Yeah, no, I think the peak, I think the peak integration of like technology and human beings should just be like cybernetics, like just improve humanity itself.
Yeah.
To the point like
I don't think that's true.
I mean,
Why?
I don't know,
And here's why.
you don't want
Because
fucking crazy robot arms.
I'm not saying I don't want crazy robot arms, but what I'm saying is that leads into it's the problem with modern, I shouldn't even say modern, with humanity, is that when we start to notice differences and similarities between each other, we form groups.
Yeah,
So you're
no,
talking
that's
like
a
some
really
Deus
that's a
Ex type
super
shit.
good point.
It
That's a
would
super
lead
good
into
point.
a new form of racism.
Well, it's
Essentially
essentially it's
is
a new
what I'm
level
saying.
of classism.
It's Deus Ex,
racism.
the
Yeah.
Human Revolution, that game. That's what it's about. Is the
That's a really good point.
modded people and non-modded people
Yeah, they
turn
would
into
clash.
like class wars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right.
I mean, they're talking about that with the Neuralink because the Neuralink is obviously not going to be cheap and it's going to be available to the wealthy.
Yeah.
And the people that are wealthy are also now going to be the most capable. Whereas the one thing kind of like evening the playing field is that someone who's poor doesn't necessarily mean they're stupid. They could easily excel. But once that happens, once you're being wealthy means you can also just have access to all the information you need, it's going to be a fucking rough go.
Here's my thing. The neural links, that spooks me.
Yeah.
That is something that scares me
Really?
legitimately, because if fucking Elon Musk decided to go off the fucking rails tomorrow and make he releases a fucking patch that makes every self-driving car just fucking run itself off the road. That sucks, but like if you're not in your car, then it didn't affect you.
yeah.
If it became like
But if-
technology
Yeah,
that all
it's
had
like-
to talk to each
it's
other.
like the
This
fucking-
is a chip that's in your brain.
It's like Kingsman.
If they decided hey, I want to take over, say fucking some black hat hacking group is like, hey, you know what? I want to rule the world on some real fucking world domination shit.
Yeah.
On some real Mojo Jojo type bullshit. Hey, guess what? I've hacked into the fucking neural links, and if you all don't follow our orders and do what we say, guess what? We're frying your brains.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Here's how I feel about it.
Fall in line or die.
Here's how I feel about it.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
The ideal situation, at least for me, would be if I can like afford to have one made where I'm aware of the entire process. I'm like, I know the guy who made it, I know the guy installing it, and I know that the connectivity to like the internet is completely closed circuit. Like even if I have to plug a wire into my head and sacrifice wireless technology like data, which would be great, I would still give that up.
wire running down the back of your skull like
If-
into a pack.
Yeah, if all I had to do was like download like the daily data once a morning and just plug in, and then once I unplug it, I'm wireless. There's no signal technology in it whatsoever. So even if you wanted to hack it, there's no possible way. It doesn't communicate with the outside world. I'd be fine with that. Because then I would have information that is all within me. You would actually have to go into my head and take it out of my head to get the information off it.
The thing about that though is that like it sucks because technology, because it is a human creation, because it is this thing that we have developed, there's always going to be a human who is going to figure out how to take advantage of it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So like what you were just saying, my first thought of the flaw right there is you plug the thing in and they send a package into your fucking...
You would have to socially hack somebody to do that, right? like they do now. Like you would have to, like that's how most hacking is done anyway.
Yeah.
It's like they have to, they can't just like brute force like what you see in movies most of the time when someone just gets their shit taken like without them having to do anything. Like it would be, I guess, the closest thing to what a brute force hack would be, which is like a powerful computer. Most of the time, what they do to hack you is like that's what an email phishing scam is.
Yeah.
They don't have the technology to guess your password or run a key thing, whatever, a key generator or whatever.
Yeah.
They're just gonna try to figure it out by tricking you.
Well,
So they would have to fool you somehow to do that.
well, then you definitely don't need one because you got fucking duped by the Nigerian prince.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah,
Trevor's the
I mean,
last
but
person
that's-
in our
but that's
friend
what
group
I'm
that needs a fucking chip in his brain.
That's what I'm saying though, is that like people make websites that look exactly like other websites, and as soon as you click anything on that website, it uploads something to your computer
Yeah.
that gives them access.
Yeah,
So as soon as you plug in, and it's like, hey, here is this Trojan horse package that I've just sent to you that is disguised as something, and you open it, they now have control of your brain. That is what is
I would
spooky.
hope that consumer grade security technology would also improve.
You would hope so, but then there's also going to be the people who are like
Yeah.
anonymous who have the power to fucking
No,
do what they want.
I think Nolan does make a good point, and I think that look, what I'm interested in when it comes to like the Neuralink stuff is like the medical aspects of it, and I think that might maybe be like the line. Like I don't like
Well, like
you don't
restoring sight and
you
stuff
don't
like that.
you
like
don't need,
diagnostics.
no, like I mean like they're talking about like they are thinking of it having the capacity to like help paraplegics walk.
Yeah, that too.
Like my cousin's got spina bifida. You know, he's been in a wheelchair his whole fucking life. I mean, that's incredible. Like that's even something that they're seriously saying like is even a possibility.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like
It's
40 years ago, that's pure science fiction. That's fucking Star Wars.
Here's what's fun about that, though. I mean, while being connected to some sort of like being connected wirelessly is the best way to get information quickly.
Yeah, but like you don't need fucking Wikipedia in your brain.
You don't
like,
need you don't need that to do what you were just talking about. That is just purely like
right.
closed circuit technology.
That's
That
what
would
I'm
be
saying,
fantastic.
Like, helping people with like that are paraplegics or like have like cerebral palsy or like things that like conditions that like attack the nervous system or whatever. Like, I mean, yeah, like, but that kind of should be like the line because it's almost like the problem with AI technology, et cetera, is that like we just don't know when to quit when we're fucking ahead.
No, we definitely
like it's always just got, and that's just a human thing. It's
as
just got to
soon
be
as there
more,
are-
more, more.
As soon as there's an opportunity for a market to open for profit,
Yeah.
then
And
they're
even
going to
if-
go there.
Even when that disappears, there's always one person who's just like pursues it for the sake of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what's wild about it. There's billions of people. It takes one dedicated shut-in who's not going to make themselves very known. You know, especially if no one wants you to make it.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, it's just going to exist, and someone's gonna recognize its value, and hopefully they're not a shitty person.
So the fucking FBI kills all the guys that figure out how to make engines that run on water.
Yeah.
I believe that that's true,
I
dude.
believe that's
think,
true too.
I think that that's not the craziest
I
conspiracy
don't think it's
theory
the
I've ever
no.
heard.
Here's my
Like,
thing.
that kind of makes sense.
Here's my thing. I don't necessarily think that it's the government that does that. But
Someone.
I think there are people.
Oh yeah.
I think there are probably people in
fucking
the
oil
in
companies.
the oil companies who
Oil
definitely.
companies.
will.
Do you know what's
100%
fucked? Inception. I mean, you've all seen Inception.
Yeah.
That was two people who ran energy companies that were hiring the extractors. That was the whole fucking thing.
I've never seen it.
Thankfully.
You've never seen Inception?
Oh,
Movie's
well,
wild.
I mean, you get the concept though. They're going into someone's dreams to influence them and to give them an idea that would hopefully they would realize is their own idea, and that's what makes it really hard.
Yeah.
Their job generally, the more easily done thing, is to take information from them, whether or not they know it happened or not. It doesn't matter. The hard thing is making them have an idea that they think is theirs, and that's why they have to go levels deep and shit.
Yeah.
They did all that freaky shit with this person's brain just to prevent an oil monopoly or an energy monopoly.
Yeah.
Thankfully, what the fuck is the guy's name? He plays Saito in that movie. Watanabe.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he was a good guy.
Yeah.
But in reality, that could easily have just been a dude who's like, hey, I want you to have an idea so that this guy like does this merger so that we have like an oil monopoly.
Yeah.
Like, fucking that would suck. And they could kind of do that with a Neuralink.
Yeah, that's
Get
what I'm
up,
saying.
get up in your dreams.
Also, speaking of Inception, did you guys know it was like based on an animated, like, movie or short?
no.
I heard about that. That apparently there was this thing that like it came out way before Inception that just Inception just ripped scenes from.
Oh, like it was inspired. So like it's not officially.
Was it
I don't know what it's called because it was on that podcast I was talking about. They were talking about like
Whoa, hold on.
there are literally scenes that like
Oh no.
were shot for shot from Inception, but it came out before Inception came out.
Oh, Paprika. I've heard of Paprika.
I don't know if that's what it is though. I
I
think
think-
this might just be people.
I think
No, I think that might be what it is.
I
I
think
think
it
I think
is.
that's what it is.
That's a pretty. I've definitely heard of that movie.
Oh. Oh whoa! There's the hallway. Oh wow.
Yeah, like it's the exact same
With-
concept.
I can't. I've never seen Paprika, so like I can't really
An anime.
compare it or say. So like I don't know from like personal experience, but like I do have to say though, it's really really hard to come up with something that's like really really original.
I get that.
It is very.
I get
hard.
that, but like if you scroll up, Trevor, that the long one, no, over one, that
Up or
no
that one.
that. Look, it's her standing and seeing a mirror in the middle of the street, and then another girl in red looking at a mirror in the middle of the street. Like
Yeah, but
I
like
get it. I get it, Tyler, that it's
not-
not easy to come up with original ideas, but that's
But here,
literally a rip.
Here's my thing. Here's my
Yeah.
thing. Well, first, so this is a really controversial thing in like filmmaking and writing and stuff like that. The difference between visual and like essential theft is like a really weird gray area. Because like there's a lot of films
Like legally.
well, no, like, but like just like in conversations like this, like Inception ripped off Paprika. Well, how when somebody starts talking about like a rip off, my first question is how close are the stories related? Because if you take a general idea like,
I think when it
people going into people's dreams,
But-
right?
Okay, so
Like-
here this is my first idea of like what would if you're crossing both those lines where is if you are both visually and like if the visual ideas and the plot ideas are both in the same way taken from another idea, another IP if you want to refer to it like that, then I would say you're starting to rip it off.
Oh, I mean, yeah, if you're doing both, you're 100% ripping it off.
Like
But,
it's a mirror in the middle of the same whole visual concept, but it also serves the same purpose in the story.
well, but
I'm-
okay, but here
I'm gonna read the summary of what Paprika is about, and you guys, because I haven't seen Inception, so you guys tell me how similar this is.
Okay.
Dr. Atsuko Chiba works as a scientist by day, and under the codename Paprika is a dream detective at night. Atsuko and her colleagues are working on a device called the DC Mini, which is intended to help psychiatric patients, but in the wrong hands, it could destroy people's minds. When a prototype is stolen, Atsuko springs into action to recover it before damage is done.
that's just they go into people's dreams. That's
Okay,
they're
so
not that similar.
I would say
That's not similar at all.
let's
Except the going into the dreams thing.
It almost sounds like there are two movies in the same universe. That's what it seems
Yeah,
like.
it sounds like Paprika could be like
An
like
origin
a
story.
Yeah, an
like
origin
how that
story.
technology got invented, because they
Yeah.
never talk about how that technology got invented in the movie.
Yeah,
They skim
it's-
over how it was developed by the military
Mm-hmm.
to train soldiers to do things they would never be able to do safely
Mm-hmm.
in real life, and that's where it came from. But they gloss right over it. That
Yeah.
could be bullshit.
But
So, all right, so-
yeah, so that's what I would say. Like you can't take a broad concept like people going into other people's
This is
dreams
the closest
and
thing right here.
compare it or like say that it's like a ripoff.
It's a thief with a rare ability to enter people's dreams and steal their secrets from their subconscious. That's probably where
My
it's...
whole thing is
Oh, and there. Wait. Well, did this come up? Planting an idea in someone's mind.
no.
No, they're like detectives.
So I would say that that's where the most originality from Inception comes from. Is like how they explore that idea. So if that is completely separate from Paprika, it's a lot of originality.
Yeah, here's the thing, and this is what I was starting to kind of get at with like how weird that whole thing is like, if somebody watches Star Wars, they're like, oh, that's like the coolest, most original thing like I've ever seen. Like I've seen so many sci-fi movies, I've never seen anything like that. Star Wars, the whole story of Star Wars is a rip off of like a million different things. Like, and I'm not saying that like it's not original, because it is original, like aesthetically and all this stuff. But like George Lucas himself has even said, like, yeah, no, Star Wars is the same story that you've heard a million times, just told differently. It's
like the whole argument between sampling and I guess what would it be? Not piracy. What's the plagiarizing?
Yeah.
What would it be in music? Plagiarizing?
Yeah, I mean it's the difference between that's a really apt comparison, actually. The difference between sampling or remixing and
because I've been dealing with that a little bit, like producing music recently, because I might have even talked to Nolan about this. I don't know. This is one of those times where I'm just talking about shit and half expecting people to listen, because it's like just real technical thoughts out loud kind of shit. But making EDM music and then making hip hop music is very different, because when you're making hip hop music, there's so much of like, if you're using samples, that's a lot of the work that's being done.
Yeah,
it is a lot of the work that's being done. When I'm making EDM, I like really have the option to make everything from scratch, and you kind of feel self-conscious about not making from scratch. Whereas with hip hop, it's like whatever you fucking, it could be something you recorded from you pet tapping on the desk, or it could be like a halftime cassette tape that you recorded. It doesn't necessarily matter. It just has to sound good.
Yeah.
And the artistry comes from how you combine everything together, the orchestration. I agree with that. It's just odd because you're just so close to done already when you're doing hip hop. Like, you've got these dope drums, you've got the sample, you're almost done.
Yeah.
Because the rappers do the rest. Like, when you listen to the beats, they're pretty fucking simple. Like, a lot of them, like, the best fucking beats and best bars you've ever heard over some pretty simple beats. You don't really have to do much.
Sure.
And I guess that kind of makes me consider that argument. I'm like, is this, like, stealing? I didn't write this riff.
So, having what I would consider a surface level knowledge or understanding of like this particular topic, to state it in a very general tone, and this is not 100% correct, but more or less, I would argue that it's generally intention, because there are artists that do songs, not covers, but like they write like original songs that that they take a lot from like other musicians, and they throw their names on there as songwriters, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's times like musicians will wholeheartedly rip off like
Vanilla Ice and MC
riff.
Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's
Yeah.
like it's the
And then
there's
what's
a
funny
lot
is
of
that
incidences of like
we're at the
stuff
point
like
where
that.
the rip-offs are getting ripped off.
Yeah.
And people would be like, oh, that's from this song. And you're like, well, that's actually from another song completely.
It's more, now legally it's very different, but like morally it's really about intention, because also too, like, there are times where like musicians, like, you don't listen to every fucking song that's ever been made. You could come up with something that you think is wholeheartedly original, and it's just been done
the
in like
same
5
thing.
other songs.
Yeah. It's really weird. Like, when you come up with something, you're like, that's good.
Mhm.
I feel like I've probably heard that before.
When you're a musician, it's very, very hard to because also unless you're making like avant-garde shit, like if you're doing pop or rock, I've had a lot of conversations with Kate about this. If you're doing rock or pop or like any form of mainstream music, I mean, you're really kind of just taking everything that's already been done and
They
just
figured it
remixing
out. They figured out a lot of the the chords have been written
Yeah.
down. Whatever you played on at random has probably been written down.
I mean, how many fucking like goofy like compilations are there on YouTube of like, oh, these 20 songs like are all use the same 4
That's
chords.
what DJing is you finding those similarities and seeing like what things are in key together and what work together. It makes DJing cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, unless you're making avant-garde shit, you're just gonna make. I mean, like, it just happens. And again, for me personally, it goes back to intention. Like, are you maliciously taking something from a song that you've heard and trying to pass it off on your own? Or can you just, just be a decent person and just slap somebody's name on the songwriting credits? No one's going to fucking care if your song's good. If your song's good and people like listening to it, they're going to fucking listen to it. Nobody's, and the fucking neckbeards that live in caves are gonna sit there and go, oh, fuck it, they ripped off this fucking musician. It's not the same as like Elvis, and I'm not an Elvis fan per se. I'm not an Elvis hater. I like a lot of his music, but his persona, like his stage attitude, his style of music, his style of rock and roll, is directly taken from contemporary black musicians at the time that didn't receive the kind of notoriety or anything because of their race.
Yeah.
And to say that like Elvis is the king of rock and roll is kind of not. I mean, you can argue that it's true or not. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
But like to say that it's fair, I wouldn't call it fair.
It's very.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's not fair.
It's not a legitimate. It's a very titular thing.
It's not.
It's more of a persona than an actual title.
His claim to the throne of rock and roll is rocky at best. Like
it's a little bit like the whole Shakespeare Romeo and Juliet thing. Like how many fucking times has people told that story? Like forbidden love bullshit. It's been done 1,000 fucking times.
The whole fucking Christopher Marlowe thing is fucking. I'm tired of that story.
Guys,
I really am.
It's about time to wrap it up.
No, yeah, it's 8:35.
Oh man,
y'all are gonna go out.
This is what happened. I'm not going out.
Well, no, you're not going out.
Oh, I'm not fucking going out.
The fucking him and Abby and the gang.
Yeah, you go out, have fun, you crazy kids.
All right, let's
I probably
wrap it
sounded
up.
like shit because my mic's been slipping the whole time. Here's my thing. Stay beautiful.